Yo, so I'm Skinner, and I have a good melee build for you. That is the buffed Sunder using Shockwave. So, Sunder now gets to travel a little faster, and if you use Shockwave, you can have each different step can explode, and you can get some really nice overlapping AoEs that basically one-shot packs. And so this is my level 94 Slayer. It's the continuation of my Cleave build that I put out. And we'll just hop on into a random T16 map and just kill stuff. And I'll explain the build as I do it. Haven't been playing in a couple days, so I'm going to have to give me a second to get used to the build. But the nice thing is that you basically one-shot every pack. And you'll see these big white circles popping up, and that is the Shockwave, so you can actually see it. Apparently I got a fucking ton of rats on this fucking map. Come on, where's the real enemies, dude? But yeah, so we are actually going to be a Slayer. We've got full spell suppression. We have really good defensive layers. We have lots of armor. We have 7 frenzies and 7 endurance charges that are transformed via the Arn's Anguish belt into brutal charges, granting us 21% chance for triple damage, which is quite good. Apparently that Arch Nemesis survived the one shot there. But yeah, so you basically see that this feels pretty good. I mean, you will one-shot all the packs, and this is because we're focusing on having one really large hit. So there's a few different mechanics at play. We have enough physical overwhelm that it doesn't matter that they have physical damage reduction, which is fairly common. Combine that with the Ceaseless Feast gloves that lower the amount of armor and evasion the enemy has once you hit them. And let me see real quick. Okay, we are using the Impaler keystone right here, so that we immediately go to 5 impales when you hit the enemy, and then after that, each tick will will drop it down. Cool. But yeah, so it is pretty satisfying to map with. It's quite good. I have another build that does the exact same thing, scaled a different way with different defensive layers. That is also quite tanky. But the Slayer is just fantastic, and it is pure fizz, and it's a true melee skill, which I really like. And it's basically the only way that you're gonna get this kind of clear with a melee skill that actually is a pure fizz melee attack. You know, no projectiles, nothing like cheesy about it. It's just, it does okay. The single target is only a couple mil. It's like 2.7 or something like that. But it's all right. And as far as T16 mapping, this is actually a fantastic build. So again, Ceaseless Feast, necessary for physical attack melee builds to get the most amount of damage that you want. We then have peel away all their armor. Then we have 12% overwhelm here and 20% overwhelm here for 32. Between those two, we're basically doing true damage. They're not resisting our physical damage. We have Vuln on hit. We also have Assassin's Mark on hit with the Anoint for additional curse, so we're more likely to crit. You get some brittle ground on boots, jump on top of them, have some higher crit rate. We have full spell suppression, and so we take the critical strike is increased by spell suppression. Obviously, we take charisma and the other aura wheel, and now that pride is fixed, you actually take bannerman. because it gives 15% increased effect of non-curse auras from your skills on enemies. So this is actually 15 aura effect for Pride. And Dread Banner, because impales are on them. Really good. To get 100% impale, we use the 60% here, 20% from just the mastery, and then from Dread Banner, wherever I have that. Yeah, here we go. The other auras I have is Pride, Determ, and Blood and Sand. And that entire map was done, actually, accidentally in Blood Stance. Normally I just map in Sand Stance. It's actually better for mapping in Sand Stance because the Shockwave overlaps are, you know, that much larger, right? It 15% more area, and the overlapping shockwaves is shotguns. So yeah, you have a melee physical thing. Each of those sections, so as you notice, Sunder travels, you know, your whole screen. Each little section of that wave can proc a shockwave. Other melee skills cannot do that. So you can shockwave things all the way at the edge of your screen. Everything's exploding the whole way. It is fantastic. So this is with, you know, having spell suppression, and that's this way of getting your defenses, right? So you can, you know, go Slayer, get your Slayer Leech, get your Slayer Cull. You get free full endurance charges. You use that up to level 90. At level 90, when you're like, oh, I want to do like really good bossing damage, you get the Iron's Anguish belt. This gives you another 1,000,000 damage by turning them into brutal charges. Really good. Self-craft by getting a fractured two-handed mace. This had a, you know, top T2. Hit it with Deafening Essence. I hit high attack speed, T1. Crafted with the Exalt % Fizz, and just recrafted it until it was good. This is over 800 PDPS. It's good. It's actually not necessarily as good as this one that I also crafted. You'll see this one has a higher base hit, 516 to 806. The way Shockwave works is that it is based off of the damage of the weapon. It doesn't care about the DPS of the weapon. So this one says it has crafted attack speed, has a little under 800 DPS, but it actually do more damage with Shockwave. And I have it for sale for 4 divines. I mean, that's a steal. You can buy it. Alright, the next build I want to show you, the other way of building this exact same concept character, but scaled in a different way, is this Juggernaut. So instead of spell suppression, we're just going to have the Unbreakable from Juggernaut, and we are going to be doing strength stacking with the Brutus Sled Sprinkler, and we're going to be doing fire damage. Otherwise, it's the same concept, and you'll notice that on this character, I don't even have leveled up gems. They're like level 18. Right, I was literally just through this character to like, let's just level this character up. It's level 83. It is like really strong. It's great. I'll hop into a, you know, more monster life T16. It is all your standard strength stacking stuff. So before I even hop in, I'm just using a Magnate. It was cheap. Alberons with 18% increased strength. An Astramentus, literally allocating beef for just 30 more strength. This is simple build. Crown of Eyes, because the way strength stacking works is that you hold up, let's see. Yeah. So for every 10 strength, you get 2% melee physical damage. Okay. That is not going to scale the fire damage that is coming from your Brutus Lead Sprinkler. But what Iron Will does is your strength damage applies to spell damage. And then Crown of Eyes says spell damage times 1.5 applies to all attacks, which means now that it's your large amount of strength is now going to scale percentage of your fire damage. Necessary interaction, you need these two. and Iron Will. And really, that's it. All this other stuff is just makes your damage better. You're gonna want some, fire exposure on hit gloves. Eventually, you're gonna want like a 6-link Iron Fortress. It's not necessary. This is just strength and some resistances. This has a bunch of strength and some resistances on these mirrored rings, and then I turn some, lightning damage into fire damage, and I have flammability on hit. That's it. And I'll show you that even with level 18 gems, this build is a faster mapper than the other build. It's not as tanky yet, but that's just because it's at this level. But this is an extremely satisfying build that you can easily league start, and that is the Brutus Lead Sprinkler fire version. Because you don't need a good ring. You just need flammability on hit ring, right? Everything is going to die in one shot. You don't need 1500 strength. You can get by on like 800 strength. And it still feels the same. We have a little temporal bubble guy here. I gotta kill. Right, I mean, just look at this. So this is pretty good, I would say. I mean, I'm not really stopping to loot anything or whatever. Alright. Curses are reflected back at me. Nah. No thanks. Oh, and I haven't even used my intimidating cry. I'm basically done with the league. Haven't played in a few days, and I realized, I should show everyone these Sunder builds. Show them the power of Sunder Shockwave. I mean, look at that. It's at the edge of the screen, and they're all just gone. You know what I mean? It's really quite nice. For this build being a jug, don't even need spell suppression, because you just stack armor, right? I mean, what are they gonna do about it, right? You're just fine. You don't even have to worry about hits except for chaos hits. So cap your chaos rest, right? Get lots of armor. So depths, I don't want to go through all that right now. Anyway, you get the point. Here's how this scales if you've never done a strength build before. I mentioned that stuff, but the tree is a little weird. You're going to notice it's really convoluted. It goes all the way around and down. That's because we want 2 of these split personalities. It gets 5 strength and 40 armor, and then 25% increased effect per node between it and your starting location. So this one is really far away. It's 53 points, right? It goes all the way down past all the stuff that we want. We make sure not to be connected here. We come all the way around this way. We use inertia to turn all this dex into more strength, right? It makes us out of the gladiator deck. It's 20 dex, 20 strength. Very nice. And you pick up Ribcage Crusher. The other nice thing is it does give us some accuracy, and you'll notice we do actually do some accuracy stacking on this as well, because we're jug and it gives us nice attack speed, and it means that we can actually go crit, and we don't need like RT or anything like that. So basically this build would later want to go RT. There's another hidden tech with this build called Mantra of Flames. Gives some fire damage per buff on you. Don't tell GGG. I'm serious. We're using Fortify. So what Fortify does, obviously, is just more melee damage. So it applies to fire. And we get Fortify, which is good because it keeps us alive. But every single Fortify is a different buff, and only the most powerful one shows up on you. But all of the other ones still exist, and you get added fire damage for every single one of those Fortify hits. Yes. It is broken. Please don't fix it. It's one of the reasons why this character does so much damage, right? With just level 18 gems and level 83, no crit, nothing fancy. I just got 2 split personalities over here. No, not even a cluster jewel. I just literally have life and endurance charges to keep me alive. I'm not even using the fucking endurance charges from more AoE. I don't even have Uber Lap. is shitting on everything. This build is amazing. The only damage thing I have on the entire tree is this, but because it's just for AoE and it's maces, you know, and I just want some that juicy AoE on that Shockwave. This has a few mil damage, and it would have way more. Like way more. I mean, it's a strength stacker. You can put as much money as you want in these things. They just keep getting better. So there you go. Sunder Shockwave. You got the Pure Fizz Slayer version, where you do the Arn's Anguish belt for getting triple damage and stuff like that. Very tanky. I mean, you're just not going to die on that character. It's really good. Or this one, which is Juggernaut, which also you just armor stack and strength stack, and you're not going to die, and you're going to get tons of life. Like I have 5,600, and I don't even have that much strength. I don't even have that much percent increased life on this tree. I could easily have like 8k. And way more armor. So there you go. GG's. If you want to play melee right now and clear maps, play Sunder Shockwave. Bye bye.